I'm backstage at Rockerfield with the sexual Tyrannosaurus that is Jessie Hughes.
I love that intro because it's true. I'm more of like a sexual velociraptor, though.
Good.
More of a kill shot.
For people who don't know Eagles death metal, could you possibly describe them in 3 words? Do you think that's possible?
Yes. Horny, rad, and bitchin'.
If I was to choose 3 words, I think they'd be there. They'd be there.
Horny, rad, and bitchin'.
A little warm-up gig at Glastonbury.
Glastonbury was one of the craziest gigs of my life, man. Let me tell you right now. I got to meet... This is a true story. The first song I ever learned to play on guitar was Bus Stop by the Hollies with Graham Nash. And then the first time I ever understood how lame music can be and how it requires a sense of humor and good music was the first time I saw Spinal Tap. So I got to play before Spinal Tap and Crosby, Stills and Nash last night, and it was like living and going to heaven.
Eagles of Death Metal started with you and Josh, your good buddy.
My best friend. The best friend any boy could ever have in their life. That's Joshua Homme. I rode his coattails to the top, and then I destroyed him, and now I own everything.
3 albums now.
And then if you consider all the albums that I've ripped off,
oh, of course, yeah.
Then I've got like 50 albums out.
Because you're quite, well, I'm going to say, inspirational way for people who just haven't quite, well, they're thinking to themselves, oh, maybe I could learn to play the guitar at some point. But you were like only like learning to play the guitar on the first album, really.
Barely. I really only learned to play guitar by the 3rd album. That's the truth. I was just kind of like pretending it was a drum for the first 2 records. Because I never really cared about like being a badass guitarist. I kind of like stood against what I was believing in, which is everyone can play and belong and we can have a good time. All you really got to do is be able to shake your dick or your breasts and have a good time. But then when Joey Castillo joined the band, I started practicing because I did not want to suck in front of that dude.
The nicknames in the band, it started off The Devil and went to Boots Electric.
Oh, there's many in between. Kill Switch, Fabulous Weapon, there's all kinds, baby. Fabulous Weapon's got to be my favorite, because my weapon is fabulous.
And Josh, Baby Duck, where's that come from?
Because when he gets mad, he looks like that big-ass Baby Huey, the baby duck in the cartoon. He just does. It's really rad. It's like, oh my God, he looks like a baby duck. I didn't mean that, you know.
He doesn't really come out on tour with you guys.
When he starts letting me tour with his band, I'll let him tour with mine. But the reality is, the only way I'm ever going to get out of his shadow is if I don't let him stand in my sun.
Adding strings to his bow, he's producing the Arctic Monkeys album, isn't he?
That's not all he's doing right now. He's making a supergroup album with 2 other big megaliths of rock and roll.
Ah, quality. Well, we'll watch that space.
Off the record, I'll tell you what it is.
So the new album, Heart On, and I think it's as much as it's supposed to sound like.
You know, this is so funny, but this is the only album we did not start out with sexual innuendo. That's the truth. It started off with Josh going, dude, all your lyrics, you put your heart on your sleeve. Right. And I'm like, heart on, that sounds cool. We go to the Heartland, and then a couple days later I was like, heart on. Heart on, oh, Mom.
In trouble again.
And I brought my mom here, so.
Have you?
I'll tell you, yeah. And my son.
Oh, brilliant. But do you feel like, because Eagles of Death Metal, kind of the story was it kind of started out as a bit of a joke with the...
Well, it started out with a joke.
Yeah, with a joke, yeah.
That's sometimes this, we're not a joke band, but we're telling jokes.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
We're serious as a heart attack about some things, but the things we're serious about is not being serious about things, if you know what I mean. Like, you can't take yourself too serious. This job, this world is a gift every day. And if you act like you're entitled to it, or if you believe for a second that someone owes you anything, you're lost, you know? I just want to shake my dick and have a good time, you know? And
as do we all.
And I would like someone else to shake my dick and have a good time, if you know what I'm saying.
But just saying that, it's got, well, especially on this last album, musically, it's got a lot tighter.
Something weird happens when you start practicing.
Yeah, exactly.
Something really strange happens when you want to play your instrument. And on this album, Joshua and I set out to make the best album we could make, because we didn't want to seem like a fluke.
want to be in LA is kind of saying how kind of it is, but at the same time.
You're the first person who said that, dude. Thank you. Because really, honestly, I'm not saying I want to be in LA. I'm saying I want to be in LA.
Exactly.
That's weird. Which is weird. LA's become the great irony of my life. I don't live in LA, and I could give a rat's ass about LA, to be honest with you. Nobody's from LA. They all moved there to be famous, which is the worst reason in the world to do anything, dude. So when everyone goes to sleep, and literally in Hollywood at 2 a.m, you could lay down in the middle of Hollywood Boulevard and not have a chance of getting hit by a car. It disappears. It completely becomes a ghost town. And when it becomes a ghost town, the ghosts that are there are the ghosts and the heroes from the past. And the city comes alive. And I actually found myself like, dude, I want to go to LA. Whoa, this is trippy. Why do I want to go to LA? And it turned out because there was a lot of horny girls.
The boys' bad news.
The moustache is brilliant, and this is coming from a man who can't grow anything. I can grow hair other places.
Tom Selleck on my shirt.
Tom Selleck, indeed.
The original. He's the one
With a gold tooth.
with 2 gold teeth. Tom Selleck taught me that God made men and women, but Sam Colt made them equal. That's why I believe in guns. Nice. Everybody should have them. I think everybody in the world should own an automatic assault rifle with a high-capacity magazine.
Bad news.
Tattoos. You're big on tattoos, or tattoos are big on you? What other way around?
I like that.
Yeah.
Tattoos can give. I have one tattoo that grows.
Wow,
It says and then it says fire truck. Guess where it is?
But there was one I'm desperate to see. Yes, that one.
Metal.
Pigeons of shit metal. You're probably sick of telling the story.
No, I love it. The Hitler of rock and roll, Axel Rose, decided to disapprove of me, which is awesome. And as my good friend Dave Grohl said, being disapproved of by Axl Rose is like being knighted by the Queen. And I don't mean Elton John, I mean the Queen of England, of course. And it's true. If Hitler wrote you a letter and said, you suck, you'd hang it up. It'd be like winning the Nobel Peace Prize. So if an asshole... My mother always says, who gives a what an asshole thinks?
That's good.
And some people do, in the right way.
Live today, what can we expect from the Eagles of Death Metal?
Mass impregnation on a global scale, in a hot way, in a very horny hot way. Awesome kids, too. And an end to dependence upon foreign oil.
Future-wise, just to finish off, are we just concentrating on Heart On at the moment, and is anything on the pipeline?
I'm concentrating on a Heart On right now.
Good. I am too, sort of.
Because I don't want the blue diamond, baby. I want to make it happen naturally, you know what I'm saying?
It's good. Thank you very much, Jessie Hughes. Brilliant.
Thanks, dude.